Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk. Back in the video today, and the Houston Rockets take a tough loss to the Toronto Raptors and end their 2-game winning streak. I was actually pretty impressed with the way the Rockets played tonight. Thought they kept their composure tonight, played a good basketball game. They struggled at the end of the second quarter and then in the beginning of the third quarter. But after that, they bounced back and were able to put the deficit all the way down to 4. And I know it's early in the game and don't want to talk about stuff so early, but the Rockets, I was really impressed about how early and how good of a start the Rockets got to in this one. With 8 minutes and 10 seconds into the game, Rockets were up 9-0. Raptors had to take a timeout. Now, I understand sometimes some teams will go into a shooting slump and, won't play good, but the Rockets were shooting good shots. They were playing good defense in the first 4 minutes, and they were doing good. Now, let's fast forward later into that first quarter a little bit. The Rockets are still playing really good basketball. I mean, they were up about 18-3 or something like that, or 18-6, and now we're speaking with like 5 or 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. So now they would finish the first quarter a little bit rough because the Rockets would be going into the first quarter only up 21-20, but the Rockets just kind of went into a slump after that because Rockets made like a bucket to get to 21 with like 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, and then they didn't score their next field goal to about like 10 or 9.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. So kind of went on a slump and got all the way down. Now in the second quarter, you've gotten yourself in a bad hole that feels like you can't get out of. And they were down at least 10, 11, or 12 or something like that, and were able to only be down by 7 going into halftime. But momentum going into halftime, because you brought it from you down 12, you brought it down to 7 going into halftime. But in the third quarter, Raptors go on a run to start, and now you're down 63-48. So you've started off bad because you now they've got it on an 8-0. They've basically done to you what you did to them in the first half, but they're doing this in the second. I mean, you in the first half go up 9-0. Now in the second half, they've gone up 8-0. So the Rockets just lose their momentum, and we're able to bounce back, bring it back to 11 or 12, and make some runs, bring it to 9 or bring it to 8. And until the fourth quarter, in the fourth quarter, they really started playing way better basketball and ultimately outscored the Raptors 39-32 in the fourth quarter. That's when they kind of started playing really good basketball at the end, where it was too late for this team to get the win. But I was impressed with the way this team played because there was only, a little bit of time that the Rockets struggled. There was only a little bit of time, between the second quarter, the end of the second quarter, last 3 minutes, and then the beginning of the beginning 3 minutes of the third quarter. That was the only really time the Rockets did not play good basketball in this game. I'm not going to count a shooting slump in the first quarter, the end of the first quarter and the beginning of the second quarter. Any team goes on a shooting slump, and it was just it was a really bad shooting slump, and it's not like the Rockets weren't playing that bad of basketball on the other end, because they weren't down by that much, but the only time the Rockets really played bad basketball today was at the end of the second and the beginning of the third, and that's like 3 minutes each. The last 3 minutes of the second quarter, and then the beginning 3 minutes of the third quarter. So the Rockets got 48 minutes in a basketball game, and the Rockets played pretty much consistent good basketball in about 40 to 48 minutes tonight. And I know you need to play consistent and good basketball the full 48 minutes, but there's been some nights where the Rockets only played like 20 or 24 consistent good basketball in the game. So it was good to see them just play good basketball all throughout the whole game, almost throughout the whole game. And came just a little short and get a tough loss against the Raptors, 117-111. Let's go over the scoring. Rockets leading scorer Eric Gordon, 28 points, 2 for 5 and 3. He's 1-3 away from passing Kobe Bryant for all-time threes, which would be 21 in all-time threes. Congrats to Gordon. 1 game away. He's not going to get it tomorrow because he's going to be rested. I have an idea about the Gordon idea. Obviously, I want the Rockets to trade Eric Gordon. And everybody, if you're, still watching, hear me out on this. Gordon has been playing way better without Jalen Green and KPJ. Now, I'm not freaking crazy. I'm not saying trade Jalen Green or KPJ. It's obvious you have to trade Eric Gordon before the trade deadline, of course. You got to get rid of him. Jalen Green and KPJ are both hurt. And honestly, this is not only for the trade value of Eric Gordon, but it's to protect their health. And honestly, I don't know if Steven Silas will do it, but here's what I do. If I'm the Rockets, if I look at Eric Gordon's stats in the last 3 games when Jalen Green has not been on the court, here's Eric Gordon's stats. 28 tonight, 25 the other night against OKC, and then 23 the night before in Detroit. Listen, I don't know what other NBA teams, if they're looking at Gordon. If other teams are looking at Gordon, they see those stats. If I'm another team, I'm liking the way he's playing. We're very close to the trade deadline. Thursday is the trade deadline. Rockets' last game is on Wednesday, so that would be the last game. So we're only talking about till Wednesday here. Hear me out. If I am the Rockets, I don't play KPJ and Jalen Green until the trade deadline is over. And then after that, Gordon is gone, no longer a Houston Rocket. And then the game after that, which the Rockets play the day after the NBA trade deadline, which is a Friday, a week from today. I don't know who they play. I want to say it's the Cavs, but I'm not sure. You play a week, Jalen, and I don't know if KPJ. I don't think it's going to even matter about the KPJ part because I think there's a chance that he won't even be ready by February 10th. But if he is, and then KPJ and Jalen return on February 10th, Gordon's gone, and you got rid of him, and you also kind of waited, gave Jalen and Kevin some time to return, gave him some healing time, and honestly, in the 2 games that Gordon would play, because that's only 2 games against Sacramento, because he's not going to play tomorrow because of the back-to-back. So maybe you play Jalen tomorrow, and then no, you're not going to play Jalen tomorrow. You're just going to sit him all the way through till Friday if you do this. But it's just an idea, because Gordon plays way better basketball when neither of them are on the court, right? And if you want to get the most you can for Gordon, and then against those 2 games against Sacramento, then I'm just thinking if you want to get rid of him, if he can have 2 good games against Sacramento, maybe his value goes up a tiny bit. I don't know. I'm just thinking outside the box here. But good night from Gordon. He looked way better. I mean, Gordon, and here's the reason why he plays better without Jalen Green and KPJ. Because when KPJ and Jalen play, Gordon is off the ball. When Gordon is on the ball, he's way better of a player, way better at driving, is driving way more, shooting more. I think Eric Gordon's way better on this team without Jalen and without Kevin, but there are futures, so, and Eric has to go, but I think it is acknowledgeable that Gordon does play way better without those guys. So I think until you do trade Gordon, I'd like to rest those guys, not only for their health, but for Gordon's trade value. But Gordon did have a great night tonight with 28 points and 5 assists. All right, other leading scorer was Sengun with 21, 0 three-pointers tonight, 9 for 12 at the free throw line. Rocket shot 20 for 4 for 33 from the free throw line, 6 for 10. Good night from Sengun. KJ Martin with 20. Was 1 for 1 from 3, 6 rebounds, 3 for 3 at the free throw line. KJ with 20, 3 scores for the Rockets with 20 points. Jabari Smith, I like the way Jabari looked tonight. 14 points, 8 rebounds, had a really decent shooting night. 2 for 3 from 3, 4 for 5 from the free throw line, 4 for 9. Pretty solid night from Jabari. Also had 3 assists. All right. Who else? You got Josh Christopher with 15 off the bench, 7 for 8 shooting wise. Great shooting night for Josh Christopher. 1 for 1 from 3, and then also had 2 steals, 1 block, and 1 assist. So great night from Josh Christopher. 7 points for Daishawn Nix. Was 3 awful shooting night, but besides the awful shooting night, was pretty decent. 7 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. 1 for 7 from 3, but besides that, I mean, that was the only really thing bad he did. So, all right, game from Daishawn. All right, the other bench players, really everybody touched the floor besides Garuba and Boban tonight. Garrison comes in for 7 minutes, takes 2 shots, 0 points, 2 rebounds. Ty comes in for 2 minutes, takes 1 shot, that's it. I mean, I love Ty, but why? I don't even see the point of playing him if he can only play 2 minutes. It's just, I mean, whatever. All right, so Ty, that's 1 shot, missed it. All right, that's it for him. Tate in 17 minutes took 5 shots, made 1 of them. It wasn't a 3-pointer. It was just a regular free throw. And then he made a bucket. He made a layup. So 3 points for Daishawn, 2 rebounds. All right performance by him. Tari Eason, bit of a weird night for him. You don't usually see him be this quiet. But at the same time, he didn't play a lot of minutes. 13 minutes for Tari, 2 points, 4 rebounds. Only took 5 shots. 1 went in. Tari usually plays more minutes than that. I don't know what was the deal with Tari tonight. 1 point for Bruno Fernando. Pretty decent. I mean, 2 blocks, 6 rebounds. Was impressed when he was on the court. Had some better moments as the backup center for the Rockets tonight. But looking at the starters, Rockets really went to their starters tonight. Jabari, 33 minutes. KJ, 35. Sengun, 33. Gordon, 34. Daishawn, 33. Josh played some heavy minutes tonight. Glad to see his minutes go up with 20. And then Tate had 17. Tari had 13. Bruno had 14. So, yeah. It was weird to see Tari's minutes go down, but I wonder if they'll go back up tomorrow. Hopefully Tari gets a better game in tomorrow. Let's go over the Raptors scoring real quick. They had 3 players with over 20. Siakam, 23, his first game after getting, in my opinion, an all-star snub. I think he should have been an all-star. 13 points for Scotty Barnes, 32 for Fred VanVleet, who was their leading scorer, and 29 for Gary Trent Jr. Between Gary Trent Jr. and Fred VanVleet, they combined for 10 3-pointers tonight. Raptors hit 15 of them. Trent and VanVleet hit 10 of their 15. Trent had 29 and VanVleet had 32. And then 11 off the bench for Chris Boucher. Tough loss for the Rockets, but that's the story of our season. Rockets go to 13-39 with the loss to the Raptors, 117-111. And the Raptors go to 24-30 with the win. Raptors have some big decisions to make this weekend. It's reported that once they are done with their road trip, they have a Sunday game. I don't know who they play, but they play on Sunday. That's the end of their road trip. After that, they're going to be making some decisions on what they're going to be doing this trade deadline. So the Raptors have some decisions to make. The Rockets have some decisions to make. So we'll see what these two teams do at the trade deadline. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on the game today, and peace out.